Hello class, good morning, how are you? Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing today? We're great. Great, that's good. I'm feeling good too. I'm happy to be here with you. And great, so it's good that you feel good because today we are going to see a very interesting topic. But before that, I want you to look at these pictures and you are going to tell me what comes to your mind when you see these images. Starting with this one. What do you see here? What's happening?
A woman being judged.
Yes, there's a woman. It has a lot of fingers pointing her out. Yeah.
Maybe she feels ashamed or embarrassed.
Yeah, maybe she did something bad or yeah, she's embarrassed. And what about this one? The second one. There's a guy.
He's like a judge and he's like guilty or something because he's like exposed.
Yes, he and also he has handcuffs, right? And there's that woman beside him. Maybe he's his lawyer.
Yeah.
And what about this one? What do you see? What's happening there? There's a dog, right?
Maybe the dog broke the plate and the owner is reprimanding him.
Yes. And what do you think these images represent? What do they have in common? Are they related? Something? It seems that everyone did something bad or something. Yes, Maggie?
I think they represent like guiltness.
Yeah, it can be, right? Okay, so these pictures are related to the topic for today, which is guilt. Maggie, you got it? Have you ever felt that way, like self-condemned?
Yes.
Yes. I actually have. One time I forgot the birthday of my best friend, and I felt terrible. I felt really, really bad. Horrible. So what I want you to do now is to discuss with your partner these 3 questions. The first one is, have you ever felt guilty? What happened? The second one, when you feel guilty, do you keep it to yourself or do you seek for solutions? And the third one, can guilt affect your relationship with others? And you will have 3 minutes to discuss these questions with your partner. And yeah, so how much time do you have to do this? 3 minutes. Okay, so go ahead. Have you done discussing about it? Yes. Okay. So now someone wants to share what they talk when you talk with your partner. Someone who wants. Yes, maybe.
About the last question, I was talking with my partner that in first grade, actually here in the university, I have like a big problem with my best friend. And if I hadn't come with a solution like apologizing, it wouldn't have been the same. It would have been very different.
Yeah, I think everyone has felt guilty one time in their life. I mean, we are humans, right? We commit errors, but we learn from them. So now we're going to do like a game. Well, it's not a game, but we're going to be detectives. And here we have 5 words and 5 images, and these images represent the meaning of the word. And by looking at the picture, you are going to try to relate to the meaning of the word. Starting for dreadful, what do you see in the image? There's like a car crash, right? It looks like something bad happened, terrible. Or what do you think?
Maybe dreadful could be like a tragedy, something really bad happened.
Yes, yeah, and the picture shows it, right? Now the word muffled. What do you see there?
Mine with a definite maybe being silent, someone being silent.
Yeah, quiet, or not able to speak. Yeah, right? Now the word courage. Like
Being brave enough, like to do something.
yes, yes. And freak. What about freak? It's like Timmy's dad yelling.
So yell a lot, maybe I don't know if it's out of fear or out of being angry.
Or maybe excited.
Oh,
Could be, right? And what about stone dead? What do you see there? What do you think? Like, no life, right? Like being like a statue? Like being able to move? Could be, yes. Do you know Medusa? When you see her, you became like stone dead, right? Oh. So now we're going to see the real definition, which Gabriel said, something, a tragedy, unpleasant, horrible, causing fear. That's what dreadful means. The next one, muffled, is quiet or not clear. Clear, not loud because of being obstructed in some way. Here the tape is the obstruction, right? Then courage, ability to control fear in a dangerous or difficult situation. Also, bravery is being courage, right? The next one is trick, to make a loud and certain cry. It can be as an expression of terror, pain, or excitement. Have you ever had a trick? Yeah. Me too. And a stone dead is undeniably dead and lifeless as a stone.
We are going to proceed with an activity when you are going to analyze the pronunciation and the form of your vocabulary previous listening. But first, before I give any instructions of the activity, we are going to practice the pronunciation, okay?
Okay.
Now, repeat after me. Courage.
Courage.
Shriek.
Shriek.
Dreadful.
Dreadful.
Muffled.
Muffled.
Stone dead.
Stone dead.
Very good. Okay, now we are going to continue with the form of each part of the vocabulary. What do you think is correct with the meaning and with the pronunciation? What does it give you the vibes of, like, for using as a verb or as a noun? Can courage be something you can carry? No, right? Is it something you can do, like, I have the courage, like? So, what do you think it is? A verb or a noun? Encourage, it can be only used as a noun. Since as a verb, it cannot have like a very sensical meaning. Since courage can only be used as a feeling, like I think like happiness, angriness, or even anxious. Since it is an expression like the courage dog, you are using it as okay. In the streets, what do you think it is like? Shrieked, basing on the meaning, like when you see a cockroach on the floor of your kitchen, like what am I doing? A verb, right? I'm doing an action. So it is a verb. Now, dreadful. What does it sound like that? Dreadful can be like a thing. Like, this is dreadful. No, but I can say, that is a dreadful bottle. So, what am I doing?
Describing.
I am describing. So, by that, it is an adjective. Now, in muffled, can it be like, I don't know, a verb or an adjective like, what am I doing? I'm closing my mouth and I'm doing a sound that it can be heard, but it's very slow. Like, it can almost not be heard. So, I am describing. But what's this?
companion. So in here, I am producing an action too. So muffled can be used as describing something and as a verb, since I am applying an action to it. Okay? Now, in stone dead. Stone dead. Can it be like a thing, a physical thing you can touch, like this is stone dead? No. Or if someone is in, I don't know, burying someone, like, and that person is already lifeless, how is that person going to be? Stone dead. So I am describing how the person is right now, the physical. So it can be only used as an adjective. Okay. Now, is dreadful something like appealing, beautiful, or something horrible and that you do not want to see in your house?
Bad.
Something bad, something you don't want to see, something not appealing. That's right. Okay. Oscar, is it pronounced shrieked or shriek? Shrieked. Okay. And is it pronounced courage or courage? Courage. And muffled can be only used as describing something as an adjective? No. It can be used for both. You use it as a verb and as an adjective. Now, we are going to do an activity where you are going to match the vocabulary word with its meaningful synonym. Now, I am going to ask you to come here to the board, so please you can match the vocabulary word to your synonym. Now, are you going to do it with a partner and write it, or are you just going to come to the board and match it?
To the board.
Yes. Okay. So you can come now. Now we are going to check each other. Very good. You all did it very great. You're so intelligent. I assure you.
Okay, so now we're going to watch a video. Have you ever heard of the Telltale Heart or Edgar Allan Poe? Do you know the author?
Yeah.
Or have you ever read the story? No? Well, it's a horror story and we're going to watch an animated video about it. So what we're going to do is just looking for general ideas, okay? And after that, we are going to choose between these options which one best fits the concept, okay? So are we going to look for details or just general idea? General idea, okay. So let me play the video for you. Okay, so do you need another time or is that okay? Did you understand? Yeah. Okay, so let's see the options that we have. Is it A, about a haunted mansion in the middle of the woods? B, about a poor man living in the street who is conceived with one wish? A person who is plotting to murder a man because of his eye haunting him? Or about a girl who is traveling to her grandmother's house to give her food? Letter C, right? Yeah, that is it. So now what we're going to do is that this time we're going to read like the body of the story, okay? So we're going to analyze it in detail and I'm going to give you an activity. You have 5 sentences and you're going to choose between true or false, well, depending on what it says, okay? And the things that are right here. So I think you can do it in 5 minutes, okay? And you're going to do it individually, okay? So are you going to look again for general ideas or this time in detail?
In details.
And how much time do you have? 5 minutes or 10 minutes?
5 minutes.
And are you going to do it individually or in pairs? Individually, right? Okay, so let's do it together. Okay, who wants to help me with the first one? Rumi?
So never was worried that the muffled sound of the old man's heartbeat will attract the attention of the neighbor.
It is true. True? Okay, we're going to see later if it is correct. And false. Okay, let's see if they're correct. Yeah, really good.
Okay guys, so for the second activity, I'm going to be handing out a worksheet. But before that, I need you to pay close attention. We have 5 sentences here with some blanks, and I need you to take the words from the box up here and fill in the blanks. I'm going to give you 1 minute. I think you can do it in 1 minute, but I'll give you 2, just in case. And you're going to be doing this individually, okay? So how much time do you have? 1, 2 minutes. Yes. And will you be doing this alone or in pairs? Alone. Okay, great. Okay, now I would like you volunteers to come up to the board and fill in the Okay, great. Now we're going to check the answers. Oh my God! You did so great. And for the final activity, I'm going to have you guys write the story finale. But first, I want you to get into teams. Look under your table, and there you will find a piece of paper with some objects. Can you do that for me? Okay, so I want the mushroom team to sit in this row right here, the star team here, and the coin box in this row, and finally the Yoshis in this last row. Yeah. Okay, so like I said, you guys are gonna write the story finale to the story we previously read, and you can use these questions right here to kind of use them as a guide, or so it'll be: will the narrator get away with the murder? Will he get caught, or will he confess everything? You decide, okay? I'm gonna give you 15 minutes to do this. And I want the paragraph to be between 100 and 150 words. Shall I show you an example? Oh yeah. So right here we have an example, so you can kind of, get inspired. Before any suspicion grew, I decided to get rid of the body dish of courage that was left inside my body. As I dragged the body towards the door, I couldn't avoid turning my head backwards to look at him. I would never forget that dreadful expression on the old man's face. So yeah, this is kind of to give you an idea of what you can write. And before we start, I want to ask you, how much time do we have? 15 minutes. Will you write a completely new story or just the ending of these so far? Okay, great. You may start right now.
Okay, well, this thing can go first, and the thing that you still write, you will first, okay? Please stand, oh my God, in front of the board so everyone can hear you.
The song when we wrote is, that night I went to sleep calmly, no regrets. Finally, I had got rid of that dreadful eye that had been chasing me throughout all this time. Once, I saw myself in the mirror. I saw him pointing at me with his order expression. It's your turn. I woke up. I ran straight to the window to see my reflection, and I shrieked. My eye was his. The police found the corpse in the backyard, shredded face, blood in his veins, and without a knife.
Has someone else finished that wants to share? Alois, here you go.
After I checked the corpse was sounded, I fainted because of the adrenaline. Once I woke up, all the courage that I had completely disappeared when I watched the dreadful scene. I freaked out and shrieked. I think I caught the attention of a neighbor who immediately arrived to the scene to witness the lifeless body of his neighbor. Having a strange feeling of satisfaction, I witnessed how he tried to hide the body. He muffled me to make sure I won't make any scandal of this. Then he proceeded to help me to hide the body in the woods.
I dragged the stone dead body across the living room and out the front door. It was a cold and dreadful night, and I noticed movement in the neighbors' houses. I stopped myself before letting out a shriek. I kept moving the body across the street when I started hearing the muffled voices of the neighbors. I started to panic, but I had to summon more courage to finish what I started. While reaching the end of the street, still dragging the body, I heard the neighbors yelling at me. They had come out of their houses. The body started moving, and he stood back up. Now there was a crowd surrounding me, and the old man I thought I killed was standing in front of me. I killed him, I swear, I screamed while the neighbors dragged me away.
And the last hymn, are you ready?
When the body was found with the police, an eye was missing. Rumor has it that a mother took the milky white eye as a trophy. Other people believe that the killer squashed out his own eye without making a streak, just to replace it with a stolen eye. The cold-blooded psycho faded away that night. Since then, nobody has had the courage to do anything to look for him. People have said that when they get even remotely close to the house where the event happened, they can still hear the muffled sound of the victim's agonizing. Wow, you did amazing! Okay, so with this, I think we're going to wrap up. Thank you all so much. Thank you for participating, and
Next class, we see the fun. Okay.
Okay, so mine and Elisa and Jimena was clarifying the language. First of all, we need to state that the visual aids and the board work and the tutoring was excellent. We don't have like any more questions than that or any observations, but with the concept checking questions, what's the that's that? with the concept checking questions, we felt like it was good. It was very, very good, but excellent. Because I could notice, because I was a student in your class, that some of my classmates were a little bit like doubtful or have like a different concept of the word that you explain, especially because of that, because like the meaning wasn't clear enough. So we felt as we were observing that it could be like more clear with more questions, and that was like the only detail that I noticed in your class. So in continuation, the meaning was, well, the meaning was provided for each word, that is very good, and it was explained in depth. The form, IPA was provided, and the forms and word classes, that was very good also. The tenses wasn't explained in the class, but we felt like it wasn't necessary to explain the tenses of the word, so that's okay. And the pronunciation was excellent. I really liked the performative explanation of the pronunciation. And it was very effective, it was very explicit, and the appropriacy of the words that you chose, we felt that it was very appropriate. It was a good level of words. It wasn't like too foreign to us, but at the same time, some of them were like a little bit challenging to understand, so I think it was very good. And the techniques that we like that you use was real life examples. We really like situations that you could that you presented in the class. The performative example, we felt that they were really good, and the challenging questions. For example, Paulina was explaining like the word class of each word that you explained. She started like asking questions on this is an adjective or a verb, and it was like many of us were like left thinking and we had some mistakes earlier, like, and that was all for us.
Catherine, Maggie and I checked the board work and the teaching aids. We thought everything was very well used. They used the PowerPoint presentation throughout the class, and they have really good visuals like images, and all throughout they used the technology well. They didn't have any problems with it. The only thing we thought could be better was, I was in the front and I didn't notice it, but during reading for details, I think it was, we read the text, right? The body of the text. But Maggie told me that since she was at the back of the class, she couldn't read some of the bottom parts of the text. So we thought that it could have been better if the text was also given out as a handout, just to have both here in the board and right there in your hand, so it could be easier to understand. But other than that, we thought it was greatly done. The activity sheets were given out in good procedure. The number of the lettering, the font was also very readable, so we thought all of that was great. Just that one aspect that we thought could have been better.
Hi, Oscar, Alois, Felicitas, and I were looking for the class management. We really liked the positioning of the teacher. They were always at standard. They were always making eye contact with each of the students that were participating. So it was making you confident that you were actually hearing us. The facial expressions, we like them, that when you were explaining the meaning of the words, you were actually like expressing them, so it was easier to understand. Also the instructions, we liked it that you were asking questions like, how much time do we have, or you work individually or in pairs, this will be in groups, and like having reminding us the limit set of time were really helpful. And by monitoring, we noticed that we were always walking around us, if we had any doubts, if we needed help with some of the activities. With the last one, we noticed that you were like really trying to see if we were like fully done or we needed more time. And getting the use of the voice, we used the language was really helpful, because at least in my case, there were like 2 words that I didn't know. But the fact that we were explaining it really simple was great for me, and I don't know, maybe for some of my classmates. But we did notice that there were sometimes during the NPF that for some people it little bit annoying, like changing like to a really high pitch, or it can be like, I don't know, if you have like really sensitive ears, okay, it can be kind of bad. But we like it that when you were explaining also the meaning of the words, you were like doing yes, like changing the tone, and also sometimes the variation on it. So it was really helpful. And yes, that was something about the classroom management that we did like about it.
The instruction thing is okay, so we were checking instructions. That was our observation task. And in most of the cases, they were playing activities as well, and they were really good. But in most of the cases, you did great, and you checked instructions with ICQs, and you gave a time limit. But there were some activities in which you didn't tell explicitly the time that we had, and that was a little bit confusing. And also in the MFP exercise where we had to choose the word class, it was a little bit confusing because we weren't told that we were going to do the activity like in the whole class. So sometimes, well, at least in my case, and I think also in Mariana's, we were breaking together, we felt like we were going to do it like on our own, and it was a little bit confusing when we didn't do that. But at the end, it resulted great. It ended up being great. But yes, it was a little bit confusing at the beginning, but at the end we could get onto the exercise. But I think that's because we are like a more proficient group with English. Maybe with beginners that wouldn't have been the case, just for observation. And yes, most of the activities had ICQs to check instruction, especially with the time limits, and the students, if they are going to be here or individually, or if they were going to pass to the front, or if they were going to do it on the answer sheet. Lydia also showed the handout first and then explained ICQ, and then she went on and delivered, which was a really great thing because that makes it more, easy to understand for the students. And yeah, that's basically
I think the last thing that was not mentioned but should be mentioned, really great selection of the strategy you use for selecting students. Didn't you enjoy that?
yes, that was very good.
Oh, it's fun. It was a really creative idea.
I know that they were like on the desk, and we
It was a
just
surprise.
yeah.
Surprise observational technique, right? It was used, so great job.
Okay.